All right, in this video, we are going to be talking about how to use a hashtag to solve a proportion. In other videos, we've talked about how a proportion is equivalent ratios, and a ratio is a comparison of two quantities. And so we can write ratios in three different ways. One of the easiest ways is to write them as fractions, like a fraction. So hashtag, which many of you are familiar with, we are going to use, I'm going to show you how to set this up and label it so we can solve a proportion. So if we had a problem where we had 3 girls for every 5 boys. Okay, so for every 3 girls, there's 5 boys. What if in this particular class there was 64 total students? I'm going to abbreviate total students. How many boys would there be? So again, the question was, for the information that they gave you, for every 3 girls, there's 5 boys. And they gave me 64 total students. If there are 64 total students, how many of those students would be boys? So how are we going to set this up? So on this, we have a hashtag. I can use it for various proportions, but I love the hashtag when they give me 3 different parts. I have girls, I have boys, I have total students. So on this, I'm going to label it as such. Okay, girls, boys, and total students. Okay, I'm going to write down the information that they gave me, 3 and 5. Now I have to, where does the 64 go? Would it go here? Now they did give me that information. It wouldn't go there, because that's not the total for that, for 3 girls and 5 boys. The actual total students right here would be 8. Why 8? Because if there's 3 girls and there's 5 boys and there's 8 total students for that particular ratio. So where do I put the 64? Well, I have total students here. They give me 64 total students. Total students is on the bottom. I have 8 total students. That's on the bottom. So 64 would go here. Now, my question is, I can find out how many girls, but I don't really need to know that for this particular problem. For this problem, all they're asking is how many boys. Once I have this information, I technically don't need this, so I can just focus on this part right here. Now, I'm going to erase what's over here, because again, I don't need the 3 girls, 5 boys, 64 total students and boys, because that's already written in the hashtag. Now, there's 2 different ways I could solve this, several, but let's talk about the easy way. The first one is using the property of 1. Of course, you guys know that. Oh, I'm still an eraser. Whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. How do I go from 8? Of course, this one, I guess, wherever you do the bottom, you do the middle. How do I go from 8 to 64? That's right, times 8. Again, whatever you do the bottom, you do the middle, and 5 times 8 is 40. So there would be 40 boys. Now, if I didn't know how to go from 8 to 64, I can solve it algebraically. 8 times x is 8x. 5 times 64 is 320. Now this is an algebraic equation. I need to isolate the x. I'm multiplying by 8. The inverse is dividing by 8. And whatever you do to the left side, you do to the right side. Because that's when 320 divided by 8 is, that's right, 40. Either way, you're going to get 40 boys. All right. So again, how can we use a hashtag? A hashtag is a simple device we can use to set up a proportion. Of course, the most important thing about proportion is labeling. It's so easy in a word problem. They will ask you a question. If they may give it to you in one order, and then they ask for it in the opposite order. Like they might give you girls to boys, and then the question they ask for the vice versa. So please pay attention. The easiest way to do that is to label, set it up, label it, and then solve, and then figure out which one is which. Let's do one more problem. Again, we're going to use a hashtag to help us set up the proportion. So let's just say we have 7 cats and 4 dogs, which doesn't make sense because everyone knows dogs are better. And if I had 44 cats, I don't know why I'm writing it down there, but 44 cats, how many total animals would I have? Okay, so again, the information they gave us. They gave me 7 cats. They gave me 4 dogs. They also gave me 44 cats. How many total animals would I have? So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up and label it. So they gave me cats, they gave me dogs, and they gave me total animals. Okay? Now, I'm going to write down the information they gave me. They gave me 7 cats, they gave me 4 dogs, and they gave me 44 cats. Now, this is my ratio, my part, and this is the total that they gave me. Okay? So I don't know right now, currently, I don't know how many dogs, I don't know how many total animals I have. But I do know how many total are in the ratio. I have 11. Alright, now this one, I'm looking for X right here. Okay, now technically once I have this set up, I don't need dogs anymore. Of course, that's a sad day when you don't need dogs. But I don't need dogs, so I'm going to go ahead and erase this. Okay, I needed the dogs initially because I needed to know how many total animals I had. So again, they gave me 7 cats, they gave me 4 dogs, and I'm looking for how many total animals. So I have an X here. I got the 11 from the 7 and the 4. They gave me 44 cats. I'm looking for how many total animals. Now, on this one, how do I go from 7 to 44? I don't know. I could divide it on a calculator, but if I don't know off the top of my head, the way you can solve any proportion is by cross multiplying. Okay, so we're going to do 7 times x. So I'm going to erase the cats and do 7 times x is 7x. A number times a variable is just 7 times x is 7x. And then do 11 times 44. And we're going to get 484. Now, once I'm at this point, it's an algebraic equation. So I need to isolate the x. What am I doing to it? I'm multiplying by 7. Number next to a letter or variable means you're multiplying. The inverse is, I'm going to do this another color, is dividing by 7. So those cancel out. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 1 times x is x. Whatever you do to the left side, you do to the right side. And then 484 divided by 7 is approximately 69.14. Now, certain things you can have a remainder on, and the decimal equivalent is a remainder. I can have 69 cans of paint with a little left over. I can have 69 pizzas. That'd be a lot of pizza. I can have 69 pizzas with a little left over. You can't have total animals and 1/1400 of an animal left over. That doesn't work that way. So our best answer is how many total animals? We would have 69. Because again, either you have a full animal or you don't. You can't have part of an animal. So again, on this, how did we use the hashtag? We used it as an organization tool. We had cats, we had dogs, 4 dogs. I'll do this in yellow actually. We had 4 dogs. So we used that information to find the total animals. They gave me 44 total cats. How many total animals? I didn't need this one. I didn't need this at all. But Again, we didn't know how to use the property 1, didn't know how to go from 7 to 44. So again, we set it up, we solved it algebraically where we cross multiplied. 7 times x was 7x. 11 times 44 was 484. And then I wrote it as an algebraic equation and then solved it algebraically. So again, in this lesson we went over how to use a hashtag to solve a proportion. I hope this helped, and if you have any other questions or need additional help, please feel free to email me at jhewlett@leisd.ws. Thanks and have a good day.